I spoke out briefly recently about the Karen Reed case, and I got a little bit of feedback, or some feedback, who are you to do that? Which, of course, is Massachusetts and life, and I want to clarify a little bit more why I'm speaking out about it, and let's look on the other side.
John Myers has remarkably confronted the challenges of our time. Through his journey, John developed the philosophy that our goodness is strength. Together, we will change the world.
I'm drawing on experiences I've had over the course of 28 years with Massachusetts Probate and Family Court. And you could say, what's the correlation? And so certainly I send out prayers for the best and most honest and compassionate resolution of this situation that can possibly come about. Karen Reed, maybe people made accidents and everywhere. Anyway, I don't know what, on any side. Anyway, what my understandings from the Massachusetts legal system is that, my probate and family situation with my kids' custody, the chord that I'm speaking to is I saw people lie about my children and me that had no vested interest sincerely in my children, right? Or my situation at all, really. People operating from vested interests, from corruptive attitudes, lawyers, guardian ad litem, all kinds of people who are part of this culture, and even judges on occasion. I said this with love for Massachusetts, I want it to be the best. I've been here 44 years. I'm encouraging. I'm well past the point of condemning or wanting to see any kind of harmful things. I'm talking about constructive things all the way around. It's like, the adage that if you put a frog in the pot of water and turn up the heat, the frog will jump out. And if you put a frog in a pot of water and only gradually turn up the heat, the frog never sees it and doesn't drop out. So you say, well, what's the correlation between, a murder trial and somebody who dealt with family and custody of children and this kind of thing? And I'm saying I've seen a degradation in our legal system that wasn't based on fairness and getting the right answer. And I've seen elements of that in the Karen Reed situation. And I recently did a video where I said emotional distress can exceed on occasions physical distress. And I'm not low-lighting in any way. We have a murder, not a murder, we have a death here, possibly a charge of murder. I'm not equating that, but I am saying, physical damage of this kind is horrific and certainly extended to the families involved. And I'm saying that we can do that. Maybe one reason why Karen Reed's case hit a strong chord is people have sensed, unfairness in our court system for so long that, that they're speaking out. And I'm speaking out, and I've done it in a variety of ways over the years. If I have my latest mailing piece that, but I've developed lots of things. Here's my got a mailer going out soon in Massachusetts, around the country, Massachusetts too. But it's what I said the other day is our highest goal can't be has to be truth. And when I say truth, I also mean truth with a touch of compassion. It can't be a brutal truth, to strike down another. Yes, when there are egregious acts committed, we must be, firm, but not brutal in our responses, not revengeful. We know we have courts, we know we have jails, we know we have these things. Most people are aware of this, and they don't want to do it. So we need fairness, we need firm fairness, and even compassion at the end. It was good that the judge, excuse me if I'm not remembering the full name, that called Auntie Bev, that, adapted her ruling on the court, the verdict form, to make an adjustment there. That after being very strict and firm, she made an adjustment, which is what we have to do at the end. We have to be somewhat compassionate. And maybe it was Turtle Boy that I heard talk about, humanity. And my life and work's been about humanity, and I really applaud that, and I really respect that movement towards humanity. And my life and work's been about humanity for a long time, in very intensive fashion over the last 28 years. So I join with that turtle energy, because that's what my life's about. If you haven't heard me, it's a turtle in process, and we do remember the turtle beat the hare. So what I'm lovingly doing for Massachusetts is to say, have that highest ideal of fairness. Find, it strikes me, one of the issues here, there's a body. There ought to be, if we really were, with all these universities and intelligence, if we were precise, I believe we could narrow down, and I'm not an examiner, but we could narrow down a cause of death from, physical punches to a truck, to an SUV. And so, we've got to approach things on an exact basis. And I guess what I'm saying finally is that for those, who kind of use intimidation or bullying as a mode, again, with love towards Massachusetts, where our toughness is great, but there is and we stand tall in terms of our way and a toughness. And there is a point where this is the Scranton in me, maybe a touch of Oberlin, where Scranton used to be known as the friendly city, and I had 4 grandparents and parents all in a concerted area, and that's why I fought so hard for and continued to for my own children, and who now are young adults, thankfully. But so I had a touch of that Scranton friendliness. There's a point where Massachusetts just only being tougher, intimidating, it veers. My motto and my philosophy I developed is goodness is strength. There's a point where toughness teeters over to weakness, actual weakness. And bullying, as many of us would consider that bullies are weak. So let's be tough, be strong, and compassion at the end point rather than abuse. So that's I think that having been in Massachusetts 44 years now, I think I have the standing, I trust it, I don't know anything, but I know I have the standing to add some of that Scranton friendliness, even a touch of that Oberlin zaniness kind of thing. But, sincerely, we've got to be strong. And as Turtle Boy said, with humanity, we've got to have that goodness of strength, as I espouse. We've got to have that, humanity at the end. That's what it's about. So I believe that our courts can elevate. I think our public consciousness can, coalesce towards a higher level, that we need to be thinking of good solutions. And, something horrific happened. To start with, are we exacerbating that, or are we trying to, maybe there were accidents, and I'll end where I began, maybe there were accidents all the way around. And, let's inculcate some of that understanding and not have people only acting on the basis of fear. So I do training, coaching, and mediation. You can take a look at my website. And 44 years, still 28 years, having endured the Probate and Family chord. My ex-wife sadly went back to her native Oklahoma 8 years ago, and according to her obituary, passed away peacefully. So, it's kind of, I'm standing, and I've endured a lot. I've been to the Supreme Court and back a couple times on matters related to emotional distress, and some innovative work in these areas. And so, you can assess what I know. That I say I bring a compassionate genius to things, and I'm going to stand behind it. You can say the best spiritual coach on earth. I'm not afraid of it. I paid my dues. So, and I paid my dues, and along with it, I want the best for people. I want the best possible solutions, the best possible outcome. Thank you. Bye.